Well, the story behind the song really is my service to either my country or my community over the last 30 plus years. And there are so many stories within that service that served as kind of the backdrop to this song. Started out in the Marine Corps, and when I got out of the Marine Corps, went into law enforcement and as a police officer for about 16 years, and then I started contracting in Iraq and Afghanistan, and for almost 12 years between those two sandboxes. So there were a lot of instances, and there were some times that I cheated death. There were some times that I knew God was certainly behind it. When I came back January 2015 for good, I had spent the better part of 5 years bouncing back and forth between Iraq and Afghanistan, and was leaving Afghanistan. And it took about a year for me before the symptoms of the stresses from working and living overseas and going through the traumatic events that I went through, they started to manifest themselves through, for me, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress. The typical thing you hear from vets: noises, distractions, smells, certain things that trigger the anxiety and the anger in you. And for me, that's kind of how it manifested itself to the point where I've put a gun to my mouth as well. And it's talked about in the song. And I don't know what caused me to not pull the trigger. Maybe I just chickened out at the last second, I don't know. But I have dealt with that ever since I've been back. And I run into that a lot with veterans that are thinking those same thoughts. And there was just something or someone that caused me not to do it. Maybe it was my family, maybe it was my wife in the back of my mind. So, for those that are contemplating that, reach out to someone. I want to be that person you call, and I have been that person someone's called. I have talked to people off the roof, for lack of a better term. And that's what it's there for. It's not necessarily a VA hotline. It's your battle buddies. It's the guys that went through it with you, or the guys that understand it. So please let me be that person that you call. I'd love to be able to help you out.
I first came to know Jamie at this thing, but doing a little research on him, he's Flags for Vets. He started Flags for Vets, where he goes out and installs flags for these veterans whose family have requested him to put a flag in their front yard because they've never had a flagpole, and he'll go out and raise the funds and do the labor and install these flags. And one of the things that I remember specifically about Jamie was the humility of saying, I know I'm not the only one that's ever been through this, but I want to promise that, I'm going to keep trying to serve my fellow vets, and I want to keep serving. You got to have battle buddies. You can't do it alone. And so he's just one more spoke in the wheel that helps make JT who JT is, because we got to have each other. I feel like we wrote a good song, and it's inspiring, and it's going to be in my repertoire for a while, because it's not one of those ones that isn't universal. It's universal. If you're looking for that message, it's there.
My name is Jamie Popwell, and my song is Till He Calls Me Home.